Hello and welcome back to EU Decoded, the podcast by the EPP Group in the European Parliament. So, the summer break is over and Europe now enters an autumn of truth. In the months ahead, the Union faces some of its biggest challenges, from international trade and competitiveness to migration and defence. And this week, all eyes were on Strasbourg, where Ursula von der Leyen delivered her annual State of the European Union speech, opening with what she herself called a stark appraisal.
Europe is in a fight for a continent that is whole and at peace, for a free and independent Europe, a fight for our values and our democracies, a fight for our liberty and our ability to determine our destiny for ourselves. Make no mistake, this is a fight for our future.
Such a serious warning came only hours after news broke of Russian drones violating Poland's airspace. Whether it was an accident or a deliberate provocation, it was a clear test of Europe's and NATO's unity and solidarity.
And just today we have seen a reckless and unprecedented violation of Poland and Europe's airspace by more than 10 Russian Shahid drones. Europe stands in full solidarity with Poland. Putin's message is clear, and our response must be clear too. We need more pressure on Russia to come to the negotiation table. We need more sanctions. We are now working on the 19th package in coordination with partners. We're particularly looking at phasing out Russian fossil fuels faster. We're looking at the shadow fleet and at third countries.
But beyond tightening sanctions on Russia, Europe also needs to protect and create jobs at home. The EPP Group has consistently focused on shielding vulnerable industries, and one of the most affected is the car sector. The numbers, as Manfred Weber points out, are alarming.
Last year we lost around 90,000 jobs in the European car industry. 90,000 families. We speak as EPP with trade unions. We speak with the CEOs from the car sector, and everybody tells us we need an ambitious climate approach, but also a realistic one. In this moment of time, whole industries in Europe are dying. That's a reality on the ground. We support an ambitious climate approach for 2050, no doubt about this. But we need a technologically neutral approach. Nuclear energy, combustion engine, and we have to screen the legislation on practicability. That is what we have to do, and we have to do it fast.
Europe's challenges are real and the need for solutions is urgent. In these stormy times, Europe must lead, says Manfred Weber.
Europe is not weak. Europe is as strong as we make it. And that's why Europe must lead now. We are in front of a European autumn of truth. The EPP is ready.
The EPP Group is also ready to work on international trade, a topic that has already made many headlines, especially in the context of the EU's deal with the United States. For the EPP Group, the way forward is clear. Calm, rules-based engagement with Washington is the best path. High tariffs benefit no one, and while some call for escalation, the EPP Group's coordinator on international trade, Jürgen Warborn, argues that de-escalation is the better choice to minimise harm and deliver results for European citizens.
I think it would be very responsible to also enter into a trade war with the US at this time. This deal is not perfect. I don't particularly like the outcome of this deal. But I think the most responsible thing to do at this moment is to go through with the deal and then continue to negotiate. I know there are groups or MEPs in this chamber that would like to escalate the situation and then continue to negotiate. I don't think that will have the best outcomes for Europeans. So it's not a perfect deal, but it's the deal that we have on the table, and we have security reasons for adopting the deal.
MEP Zheliana Zovko echoes this conclusion. The deal isn't perfect, she says, but it provides stability and predictability.
The European Union cannot afford to find itself on the wrong side of the history. To those colleagues who reject this agreement and call for harsher measures, I must say such positions are deeply irresponsible in these challenging times.
Essentially, the EU will have to broaden its trade agenda and look at other potential partners.
We have to open business in other parts of the world. Mercosur is one, Mexico is another, Indonesia, India, Thailand, Malaysia, Philippines, Australia. There is a lot of possibilities, and I think possibilities to negotiate is better now than ever.
Another highlight of this week's plenary was an address by Moldovan President Maia Sandu. For the EPP Group, Moldova is vital to Europe's security, and its European path must be safeguarded. The same European path was at the heart of President Sandu's speech.
Both Moldova and Ukraine are ready to advance to the next stage of negotiations in a merit-based process that reflects our progress. We are not asking for shortcuts. We are doing our homework diligently. But for us, accession is not just a technocratic process. It is a race against time to anchor our democracy inside the Union, where it will be protected from the greatest threat we face, Russia. The Kremlin's goal is clear: to capture Moldova through the ballot box, to use it against Ukraine, and to turn us into a launchpad for hybrid attacks in the European Union.
For 2.5 years now, we have witnessed Russia's unprovoked and illegal war of aggression in Ukraine. And the truth is, the future of Europe is being decided on Ukraine's front lines. The EPP Group wants the EU and the European Parliament to reaffirm their steadfast commitment to providing security guarantees and taking all necessary steps to strengthen Ukraine's armed forces and its defence industry. MEP Pekka Toveri commends Ukraine for managing to take steps towards EU membership, even while defending itself against Vladimir Putin's devastating war.
Europe is not safe before Ukraine is safe, and to safeguard Ukraine's safety and freedom, it is crucial that Ukraine can join the EU. Even though Ukraine is fighting existential war to survive, it has been able to take big steps towards its future EU membership.
It's clear that the war must end, but peace is not achieved by words alone, according to MEP Mikhail Gala.
Russland hat in den vergangenen Monaten mit unseriösen Vorschlägen und unehrlichen
He
Verhandlungen.
warns that Russia's dubious proposals and dishonest negotiations show no intention of ending the war. An unconditional ceasefire must be the starting point for any serious peace talks. Until then, he calls for more EU military, material and financial support for Ukraine. Gala underlines that it has never been clearer. Ukraine is under attack precisely because it seeks to complete its European path towards the rule of law and democracy.
Wir unterstützen die Ukraine in ihrem Reformprozess, der im Detail im Anhang.
The EPP Group is calling on Ukraine to strengthen reforms on its European path, from safeguarding the independence of anti-corruption institutions to restoring full nationwide broadcasting for media providers and refraining from political censorship while applying wartime restrictions. At the same time, Europe must act as a security guarantor for Ukraine. The EPP Group's commitment to cutting bureaucracy for European businesses was put into action this week through several legislative files. First, new rules on car recycling. The goal was balance, boosting circularity and protecting the environment while supporting Europe's automotive industry. Key points: simpler rules, less paperwork, and a focus on stopping illegal dismantling without burdening those who follow the rules. The drive to reduce red tape continues with textile and food waste rules, encouraging recycling and strengthening the circular economy, proving that sustainability and competitiveness can go hand in hand. The carbon border tax is also being simplified. 90% of companies, mostly SMEs, will be exempt, while 99% of emissions remain covered. For the rest, registration, emissions calculations and reporting will be simpler and clearer. Farmers are included too, With the Parliament's report on the future of European agriculture, the EPP Group reaffirms its commitment to a strong, modern, common agricultural policy. We want our farmers strong and well-funded, says MEP Carmen Crespo-Diaz. The EPP Group's position is simple: let farmers farm. And that's all for this week on EU Decoded. Follow the EPP Group on social media and stay tuned for future episodes on key EU topics. Thanks for listening.